Welcome to Two Crazy Scoops Podcast with your hosts, Ayo and Antino. This week we are going to be talking about the internet and the tragedies that happen when things go wrong. We're going to be talking about the Bee Gees, power balance bracelets, audience questions, and pizza, as always. Where did it bring you? Back to pizza.
For a split second, I thought you said the Bee Gees. I was like, why is that on the list for today?
Heck, I'm going to start with that.
The
So,
Bee Gees.
it's called the DGs.
Okay.
Do you want to click on that link I sent you?
Yeah.
Read it for me. What do you think?
Okay. It says Foo Fighters to release disco album as the DGs. Oh, that's terrible. It's a terrible idea. Am I supposed to read this?
Yes. Or not the whole thing, but what I just want to get your thoughts on the Foo Fighters covering Bee Gees songs.
As the DGs and not to frontman. Let's see, LP DG. Oh, Bee Gees covers. It will be released on vinyl in the Wait, this is already out.
Oh, it's already out. Yes, and I'm going to send you the link real quick. We're going to play a short clip of it, and I want to get your opinion of what you think about it. I would have never thought that the
Foo Fighters doing Bee Gees covers. Yeah, that doesn't. But can we can't include that in
a very, very short clip? Yes, we can.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to push the boundaries of this until we get all this 70 cents that we've made off. I can't copy. See, I haven't had a. There we go. Control V Enter. There we go. I'm sending it to you. So, I mean, there's, what? Should we really put boundaries on what artists can do to express themselves? You know, I don't think so. There's just some things that you shouldn't touch. We just listened to the Postmodern Jukebox version of what? That Selena song.
Oh.
Como la flor.
Yeah, that song.
But it was like very slow and it ruined it. And we instantly turned it off because we were disgusted.
Okay. So this is the DGs?
Yes.
So should I play this now?
Oh, yeah. It's probably going to be a commercial first, though.
No. You're doing the voice.
I don't know. But it's the same exact the sound as the Bee Gees.
Wait, is he actually recording?
He's singing.
How is he doing
He's just
that?
going really high. You should be dancing. Yeah.
Yeah, he's actually singing it. I'm surprised. I'm surprised he sounds like that.
Well, there's a lot you can do with audio stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, he has to be doing something with that. Cause
they just kicked him really hard.
Well, I think the comments on this video say it all. The very first comment, it says the Foos have now entered the because we can phase of their career, which is basically the truth. You can just, we're at this point where we can do whatever. So, yeah, that was pretty terrible. I could listen to it, but I don't want to see.
If I want to listen to the Bee Gees, I listen to the Bee Gees.
Exactly. But that was pretty bad. I'm not a fan.
Why would I be like, you know what would make this so much better?
Right.
The drummer from Nirvana.
Right, exactly. Especially if they're just going to sing the song exactly
the
like
same. It's not a reimagining.
Yeah.
It's not a different rendition. It's like karaoke night with the Foo Fighters.
Exactly. So, no.
And guess what? Your mom likes the Foo Fighters now.
Oh, God. Yeah, that was horrible.
Well, that's a great way to start this show, guys. You know.
Completely random.
Anyways, I want to give a shout out to Devon, photographer that we've had on here twice.
Is it Devin?
No, it's Devon.
Okay, just making sure.
You know, don't screw me up. I typed in Jermaine, and then I was like, Devon. Been killing it. His photographs have been blowing me away consistently.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's interesting to see somebody start off with already good photos and then come out with even better photos.
That was a really nice way of saying that.
But it's the same thing with our podcast. I mean, I'm embarrassed. We're embarrassed with the first season a little bit.
I've warned people. I always send them a link to a specific episode to start at, and it's never season 1.
It's like the last episode.
Like, hey, we have a podcast. If you want to hear it, here's the last episode we recorded.
Here's one where both of us don't talk a lot.
That one came out pretty decently.
Yeah, no, but it's been cool to see that how it's been going, the growth of that over time.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've actually seen some of his photos. I don't check it all the time, but when I do log into Instagram, then yeah,
shout out to. Now I'm gonna screw it up. What's his Instagram handle?
Devon.
jdevon.digital. I think he might have changed it. Yeah, jdevon.digital. He took a picture of mountains. You may think that's boring, but it looks amazing. It's got depth. So, you know.
I'm sure he would appreciate the shout out. So,
that got me on another tangent.
What?
People are responding to the story I put up, and I can't read it.
They're responding.
Oh, okay. It's positive. That's good. I put the thing up, and I'm waiting for more responses, and I'm reading them in real time, which is probably not a good thing to do. But hey, here we are.
Got you. Oh, can we? I just wanted to say one other quick thing too, for the people who actually still listen, or do listen, or whatever you want.
Or just stumbled upon.
Or just stumble upon the podcast. So, I just found out, because you sent it to me, that we actually hit 4,000 listens on our podcast.
We did, but unfortunately, I think it pushed up the numbers, because if I go to Anchor, it was like 3,957. I don't know why it messed us up like that.
So who said it was 4,000?
It's just in the app it says it's 4K.
Yeah, so that's fine. So no one needs to know the exact details. So we'll just edit that part out. But but seriously, we got 4,000 listens on our podcast.
Yeah, so thanks to everybody for listening, supporting it. Yeah. Everyone who gives us their questions, our guests, and not to be forgotten, A&A.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have 3,976.
Yeah, so close to 4,000 listens. So,
might as well be 4,000. Come on, guys.
Yeah, no one's going to see.
Who are you kidding?
No one's going to see the exact number. So,
and
thank you.
Thank you to the 93% in the United States, the 4% in Canada, the 1% in Ireland, the less than 1% in Germany, the less than 1% in Mexico, the less than 1% in Brazil, Angola, Portugal, Sweden, France, and Singapore, and Croatia.
Who's in Croatia?
I don't know. I think it's when they accidentally stumble upon it.
Yeah, some of those countries I kind of know who's there, but some of them I'm like, Like, I don't know who's in Germany.
Neither do I. But hey.
In Croatia, I have no idea.
I don't know how to say anything in German, so. Besides
Volkswagen?
9. Volkswagen. Guten Tag.
Yeah.
Wunderbar.
There you go.
That's it. Wie geht's?
I'm pretty sure once they listen to the first few minutes, they
this has nothing to do with Germany. I thought this was about the historical goings-ons of Germany. Yeah, maybe.
That is hilarious. No, but we got some listeners from all over, which is pretty cool. So,
so tell a friend.
Yeah. Anyone who wants to hear a podcast that is clean for the most part.
Yeah, you're saying that.
Yeah, exactly.
That Antino makes clean.
Exactly. A podcast that, when it's released to the public, is actually
clean.
And, non-controversial, I don't think. Then, yeah. Let people know.
Tell a friend.
Exactly.
It's not for everyone, but it is for someone.
Exactly. So, anyway, just a special thank you to everybody who has been listening. So.
Oh, wait. We're sitting here, and I always forget. There we go. This applause for everybody. Handshakes all around. 2 crazy scoops. Thank you. Anyways, why are we here? The greatest tragedies known to mankind have shaken the world for years. Books, movies, documentaries have been recorded of such things. People can learn from these tragedies as to either how to react or how not to react. You can see how humans have turned on each other and or helped each other in some of the most distressing circumstances. And so today, Aaron, I want to talk about Facebook and Instagram going down.
Oh, yeah. One of the tragedies of human history. Exactly.
What causes a website like that to go down, Aaron? Or AO?
So we're talking specifically. I don't even know why I bother using that word. I can't say it. We're talking about Instagram and Facebook right now, though, right? We're talking about what just happened right now.
Whichever you want to talk about first. Because this can happen to basically any website at any time.
Yeah.
It could happen to Anchor. Actually, it happened to Spotify the other day. I couldn't listen to podcasts on Spotify. And I talked to a friend of mine who's not in the U.S., and he said he also had that issue. So,
Interesting. Yeah. So what happened with Facebook, which whether you use Facebook or Instagram or WhatsApp, because WhatsApp was also down. Basically, and I'm trying to think of the easiest way to explain this without putting everybody to sleep. But basically, what happened is there is like a, we'll just call it a piece of software that's used by the network to communicate with other networks and let them know the best route to get to them. And so the little protocol or software that Facebook used, someone inside Facebook made a mistake, and it basically caused the internet to forget Facebook's address in so many words. And so all the services went down. And what made it even, and the reason why it was down for like 5 hours is because not only did they lock out everybody, but they also locked themselves out. So if you're a network engineer and you're trying to remotely log into Facebook to do your work or to change something, you can't anymore.
Oh, man.
Because it knocked out. So even the engineers at Facebook could not log in and use the tools that they needed to fix the problem. So they had to rely on people who were physically at the different locations to go in and try to fix different things. But the problem was a lot of those people who were at those locations did not have the credentials, because as you can imagine, that needs to be protected.
Yeah.
So it was a huge mess. And so basically no one could find Facebook, and Facebook couldn't find themselves, and they lost.
It was just a disaster.
It is. And
people couldn't complain online anymore.
Exactly. But it's not just a matter of like not having WhatsApp or Instagram and Facebook, but it's also certain websites use like Facebook and those credentials to log in.
What do you mean?
So in other words, like some people sign into websites using their Facebook credentials. You can actually type.
Oh, yeah.
So if you had any programs that that required your Facebook login, you couldn't get in.
You could log into Spotify with your Facebook.
You absolutely can.
Yeah.
And a lot of websites across the web have that feature where you can log in using those credentials. So people who rely on that, they were locked out of their accounts. Anyone who requires social media for their business, or who make money, and there's so many other uses of Facebook. I mean, we think of just sharing needless information and memes and stuff like that, but some people actually use it for a legitimate cause, like for their businesses and things like that. Mm-hmm. So there were a lot of people impacted, and when you think about it, it's used across the world. So some people, they built their livelihood around that. So it was a huge deal that happened. So
that is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Instagram's a little bit more, it's used for business a lot more now than it was when it came into creation in like 2010.
Absolutely. Actually, all of them. So, and WhatsApp too.
Really?
Yeah. It's used a lot for business as well.
Oh, well, for business, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All those features, of course, originated with the idea of being like, personal, right? Mm-hmm. But then businesses and stuff eventually got on, and now businesses are a huge part of it. So all those three apps kind of all did the same thing. They all started with personal communication and kind of branched off into business use as well. So yeah, that was pretty crazy. And I mean, I don't know.
I think it's crazy. Just funny that there's like an invisible side to life that was created after we built computers. Mm-hmm. And now that has such an impact on the physical world that it's almost like sad. Mm-hmm. Actually, before, I was going to do like the whole questionnaire at the end, but someone asked an interesting question.
Yeah.
They said, I don't know. So what would be more catastrophic? Humanity loses access to the internet, and this was an odd one, though, or loses the ability to feel happiness, but we all know we had that ability once. So, like, you knew you were happy before, but now you don't feel happy, but you knew you were happy. Or would you, if they lost access to the internet? Because it's funny, because the internet reminds you that you're not happy. I think if you lost the internet, you would feel happier. How much of an impact do you think that has on the, is psyche the right word of society?
The internet on our psyche?
I don't know what a psyche is. Maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, so here's the thing. The problem is right now, we've actually built society around the fact that the internet exists. Before it exists, it didn't matter because our lives didn't depend on it. Mm-hmm. But our lives have migrated to the point where many people's lives do depend on the internet now. So if the internet went down, there would be chaos. And so therefore, you would no longer be happy, but yet you would remember what happiness was. So,
it's all interconnected.
Exactly. So you can't choose one or the other. If either happens,
grocery stores rely on the internet.
Yeah. In fact,
gas.
I don't remember if I told the story before or not on here, but the first week I moved to Tucson at my job, because I worked in a grocery store, maybe after I was here for a week, the server went down, and it was the server that controls all the transactions from the registers and everything. And so they called me in. I went in and tried to see what was going on. The server would not boot, and the cash registers slowly, they have memory in them, so they can save some transactions, but after a while, it started to get to the point where they couldn't hold anymore. So they were shutting down. And so we had to shut down the registers, and we had to close the store.
Oh, wow.
We could not sell groceries without the internet. Now, you would think, hey, can't we just pay cash? But no, because it requires the connection to open up the registers and stuff. So I don't think there would have been and on top of that, you couldn't, it was just, everything was tied in. We couldn't even just take just cash.
Yeah.
I don't know if all grocery stores are like that, but ours was. And it was like, no internet, no, if the internet or the server, I shouldn't say internet. If the server is down, then the registers didn't work correctly.
Because then they can't communicate with each other.
Exactly.
Computers can't.
Yeah. So if the internet is down, the registers still will work. But if the server that they're connected to goes down, that's where the problem was, and that's what happened. So we've built our lives around everything working. So
it's like they built it like the crate challenge,
Exactly.
One thing could just fall, and it's just utter chaos.
Yeah.
Pain and confusion.
And what's funny is that the internet, it was designed originally with the idea of having it be, I can't think of the word, but the idea was everything should be decentralized, meaning if New York,
if one thing goes wrong, not everything goes down.
Exactly. You can destroy an entire city and the internet would still work just fine.
Oh, thank goodness.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm not encouraging destruction of cities. I'm just saying if it were to happen, the internet should still be up. But the problem is,
if something goes wrong in California,
right,
the rest of the world suffers.
Well, it was designed to avoid something like that happening. Uh-huh. Yeah. But over the years, these huge tech companies have kind of come up, like Google and Amazon and Facebook. And the problem with those companies is that because they don't just offer basic services, like Google is not just a search engine, but it also helps run the back end of a lot of other websites. So it's almost becoming centralized again, so that if one of these big companies has any issues like what Facebook just had, then a lot of websites that depend on them could go down. Like if Amazon went down, for example, you wouldn't be able to watch Netflix. Now, you don't tie those two together, but unless you are a nerd, you wouldn't know that Netflix uses AWS, which is Amazon's networking service, in order to run their servers, So, and you wouldn't be able to read the Wall Street Journal, but no one cares about that. So that wouldn't be a big issue. But all that's tied into Amazon. And so same thing with Google, same thing with Facebook. They all have a lot of websites that are built off of their technology. And if they go down,
we all go down.
Exactly. So
Every man for himself.
The moral of the story is Facebook and all those other companies are from the devil, and you should not use them. But if you have an Instagram,
I know someone who will agree with you, though.
But if you have an Instagram, please follow us at Two Crazy Scoops.
Comment, like, share.
If you're gonna use the devil's tools, then follow us, please.
I know someone who would agree with you, but
No,
he's not here to voice his opinions. But I will tell you that he messaged me and told me that they had. Let me see. He said that there were some kids that were arrested at the school he worked at for destroying bathrooms. Mm-hmm. For exactly what we had talked about last time, which is another reason why social media is crazy, and he subscribes to that opinion. And to just describe, I think it was called devious licks, he said, hit a lick was a very common saying. Me and Aaron's generation, lick is a robbery, and he's surprised that kids use it today. Mm-hmm. You know about that, Aaron?
I have to admit that I had never used that word before.
Okay,
so it was new for me.
I want everyone in the audience to remember, Aaron just called himself a nerd.
Yeah.
He was not stealing.
I wasn't stealing stuff, so I didn't know what the lingo was around that. Licking things, I didn't know that meant stealing stuff.
Are you, like, connecting dots now, thinking about your past, all the kids around you?
Probably.
You're like, wow, they must really like Tootsie Pops.
Yeah, I was not part of that crowd, so I didn't know that. I mean, no one said that. You had to use a pretty obvious word for me to understand. You know, like, I acquired this somehow, and I'd understand what you were talking about.
They're like, Aaron just stole this thing, but his vocabulary is so impressive that we really can't get mad at him. I have acquired this possession from you, sir.
Right, exactly.
And I will not be bringing it back.
Exactly. You have to bring it to my level.
No matter how much you protest, sir, I will leave now. Do not follow me unless consequences will come about.
Oh, man, that's funny. Yeah, I didn't know. So
I will now be acquiring your shoes.
Right. I have already acquired your jacket out of your locker.
They are no longer yours. Enjoy the rest of your cold, miserable day.
Right. Oh, man.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's the...
Do you want to nerd out more, or do you want to take a break from nerding out?
It's up to you. Whatever you want. What was the other nerding thing?
Well, I read that people in the U.S. pay more for slower internet speeds.
Yeah, so that's a topic, and I do need to read a little bit more on this because I don't remember all the details, but there was this pretty cool documentary. Actually, no, it wasn't even a documentary. Have you ever seen that show? It's called...
The Office?
Adam Ruins Everything.
I hate that stupid thing. I've never purposely watched it, but I was sitting in a barber shop and they were playing it, and the guy is such an idiot.
Agreed, but informative.
Such an idiot. And even the information was wrong.
Well, I don't know. I don't know which episode you saw, but he actually talked about the internet on one of his episodes, and I think it was that episode called Adam Ruins the Internet.
I hate that show, Aaron.
Okay, well, either way, he did an episode on the internet, and he actually broke down kind of like the history of it, and he does it in a very humorous way. But long story short, when the internet was set up here, the companies who got in, they made agreements with each other not to cross over into certain territories, which is why, for example, in Tucson, some parts of the town can only get Comcast, and other parts can get Cox. Have you ever noticed that?
I didn't really.
Yeah. So certain parts of town can't get Cox. We have Cox on our side.
Oh, like you can call them and they say that you're out of the area.
Exactly.
Or they can install it, but it won't work.
Exactly. So they, when the internet was being built out, these big companies set up these agreements with each other. So instead of competing with each other and because competition drives down the price, they just say, hey, we'll take this area code and this will be ours and you stay out of it. And they say, okay, we'll take this area code. So as a result, the competition was lower, and so the advancements in speed haven't been as big as they are in, let's just say, Japan and Korea. Their internet is way cheaper than ours and way faster. I mean, it blows ours out of the water completely. You think the U.S. would be number one in speeds, but no, we're not number one.
Wow.
And I am Team USA all the way.
Oh my gosh. I'm still distracted by Adam Ruins Everything. I hate that show.
Yeah, but he actually does an episode on that very topic, and it's pretty funny.
No, this is my impression of it. It's like the lady, and she's like, I can't work the internet. And he's like, did you know that you have slower internet because you live in the U.S.? Really? Yeah, look at your friend in Japan. And he's like, and she's like, whoa.
Pretty much.
I hate that show.
Yeah.
And then, they have episodes that say what he got wrong, right? Because they don't fact check anything in that show.
The point of me bringing that up was not to criticize.
I researched it after I watched that. I had to sit there getting my haircut, and I was like, why are we watching this?
Again, I'm not criticizing the show. All I'm saying is...
It's terrible. Antonio hates, Adam hates everything, or ruins everything, or whatever it is.
All I'm saying is that he did an episode on the internet, and it's pretty funny. And if you want to catch some more
Don't
details...
patronize it.
Then you can catch it on that show. But, I mean, I'm not telling you... The show is 100% accurate on everything.
Okay.
But the episode on the internet was funny and interesting. So just throwing that out there if you want some more details on how that all worked out. But if you ever wondered that. But here's the cool thing. Just one last nerd topic. Here's the cool thing. With 5G rolling out, and, for better or for worse, they are going to be able to compete with the home internet services more now.
Really? So you're going to buy internet from your service provider now?
Well, you can. With 5G, the speeds are going to be comparable to what you can get through cable.
When I'm downloading stuff on my phone, I turn off my Wi-Fi and I go over 5G because it's actually when I upload the episodes to Anchor, it goes like infinitely faster.
Yeah, so they're going to be competing. So, and since they won't be using wires, but they're going to be using wireless, they'll be able to compete. So I think in the future we might see some more competition.
Because there's no installation.
Exactly, and there's less, so competition is going to require that the major players like Comcast and them lower their prices or get more competitive.
Oh man.
So anyway, that's just me being a nerd. But
so when they're trying to get, like, I think you can access the internet anywhere downtown. Is that what the same thing as cell phone services?
Sorry. Wait, what? You can access what downtown?
I think downtown has internet, like free internet access. Downtown Tucson.
Yeah, but I think that's all through Wi-Fi.
It's through Wi-Fi? Okay.
I don't think they have 5G.
Because the 5G has to be in your phone. It has to be...
Well, yeah.
Oh, this is where I don't...
Well, see, if the city's going to offer it for free, they would offer Wi-Fi, though, for sure. Yeah. Because everyone's phone does not have 5G.
Got it. Trying to set this cup down very gently. Okay. Speaking of scams and Antonio ruining everything, is that what... Gosh, is that the name of the stinking episode now? Antonio ruins everything.
You know what? That has a nice ring to it. That should be a new segment, actually, on this podcast.
Antonio ruins everything. Hey, guys, did you know? Well, I do know some pretty depressing facts that I won't go into. We're going to talk about power balance bracelets. Did you ever see these before?
I have not, no.
I sent you a Wikipedia article about it. You might be...
Yep, I see it.
Are you familiar with this at all?
So this is an original brand of hologram bracelets.
It says they'd become a trend among high school students in sports and stuff in between 2008 and 2012.
Between 2008 and... Yeah, I was already out of high school.
That was kind of like when I was homeschooled, but some of my friends who went to high school had them.
Yeah, this is from your heyday. Oh, wait, I do remember these things.
Yeah, they were everywhere. Everyone had them.
I did not know what these were, though, at the time.
I had some friend of mine preaching to me about it.
Yeah. Oh, and then they had to they sued them because they were saying that they had to retract all those claims because they said it was supposed to respond to natural energy field of the body and increase sporting ability. Yeah, exactly.
If you wore that and you talked to me about it, no, I was judging you internally because I'm not that stupid. I may be dumb, Aaron. I also may be stupid, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
No, give yourself some credit.
I didn't buy into it, okay? It says in November 2010, the Australian distributors of Power Balance were ordered by the Therapeutic Goods Administration Complaints Resolution Panel. Therapeutic Goods Administration Complaints Resolution Panel to drop false and misleading claims that the wearers would experience up to 500% increase in strength, power, and flexibility. That sounds a little outlandish to me.
Just a little bit.
And ordered the claims removed from the company's websites and retracted posts within 2 weeks.
Yeah, that is funny. Yeah, I remember seeing those things. They even got a picture of Bill Clinton wearing one.
It doesn't.
Yeah, I remember seeing those. But I did not know. What they were supposed to do. I never got that into them, but I remember seeing them. Now that I see the picture of it.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I think one of my close friends did wear it. So I apologize if you're listening to this and I'm just totally downing you, but
that doesn't mean he believed the claims.
No. Yeah.
He might have just got it just for the look.
Yeah, I think he did. You know, come to think of it, he's a real stylish guy. He's got a good sense of humor. Everyone loves him.
Suddenly I don't believe you anymore.
He's a very, very well-established gentleman. He's a gentleman and a scholar.
This is kind of funny. I'm just reading this Wikipedia on those things. Somebody went to Shark Tank, which is one of my favorite shows, and tried to pitch a similar idea. Oh, no. And the guy was like, "No, I'm allergic to scams. This is not new. This has been disproven. It's a joke."
Oh, no.
He said it's a placebo.
A placebo, yeah. So I do subscribe to placebos, of course.
Well, there you go. So you should get one.
Yeah. If you see me lifting a car outside next time, you'll know what happened. Aaron, the bracelets work. But you're not even wearing the bracelet. Oh no. I'm losing power.
Aren't they out of business now?
They probably are. Let's Amazon this stuff.
Power balance.
Come on, buddy. We can start selling them, man.
No.
Amazon.com. If you would like to purchase a 2 Crazy Scoops balance bracelet, hit us up.
Oh, no. It says they filed for bankruptcy, but then they got...
Oh, they have power balance bracelets for men and women.
They still have them.
For $9.80. Oh, the original genuine performance wristband. What does it promise you? Comfortable to wear. Wristband has flexible features. Great. Better power balance, flexibility, and strength, as well as contributing to an overall sense of well-being. That's the most outlandish claims that I've heard. You know, if you listen to 2 Crazy Scoops podcast, your life will get better. You'll be more balanced. You'll get better flexibility. And you'll have an overall sense of well-being. And you'll be 500% more stronger than you were the last time you listened to a podcast.
Yeah, I can't promise any of that.
Yeah, well, they have men's and women's bracelets. So I don't know if they get different, like power. If you like, oh no, I bought the women's bracelet. Anyway, Aaron, you didn't buy the right one.
That would be hilarious if, depending on which gender bracelet you bought, that affected what powers you got.
We're not going to be stereotypical here.
No, I'm just saying.
Okay.
Oh, we're not ending.
We're not ending.
I thought I was about to be like, all right, well. Oh God.
I don't know how to come back from this.
Well, we'll talk about pizza.
You know who likes eating pizza? Everybody. Domino's starts making autonomous pizza deliveries. Okay? You know, it's interesting, but I thought what would happen to that is what would happen to that robot that got destroyed in Philadelphia.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm kind of curious to see how that's going to work out. But this thing is on wheels, and I don't know how people are going to be able to break into it if you could. I don't know. But I'm looking at it, and it's like this. Oh, you know what? I just remembered. I saw a commercial for this.
Oh, really?
They show commercials for this, yeah. Even though it's not available everywhere. But this little tiny car, I'm trying to describe it, but if you go to our Instagram, you'll be able to see a picture of it, I'm sure. But it's this little tiny car, and it's like it delivers the pizza to you. You have to come out and get it and everything, and it keeps it hot and everything. And what they do is they give you a PIN number, and you go to the little car when it gets to your house, and you put the PIN number in, and you can get your pizza that way. So, I mean, it seems pretty cool. It's a good, it's a pretty cool concept. And right now it is available in Houston.
Or Houston if you're in New York.
Exactly. I'm not sure where else Right now, this article says Houston, but they might have rolled it out to other places possibly too by this point. But I mean, I think it's
was that pun intended?
You
said
they might roll this out. No, but this Domino's might be rolling to a door near you. No, I don't know. I'm not sure. That's interesting, though.
Unfortunately, the robots don't make their pizza taste any better.
Yeah, no. No, I mean, the best pizza is, one of the best one is, what's that company called? Not Papa John's.
I thought you were going to say Papa John's.
No.
Whoa, dude.
No, Papa Murphy's.
Papa Murphy's? Is that the one you have to make yourself?
No, they make it for you, but you cook it yourself.
Well, you have to cook it yourself.
Yeah. It's really good, though.
Like, is that takeout? No. Is that DiGiorno? No. Is that Papa John's? No, it's Papa Murphy's.
I wouldn't tell anyone who I got it from.
I made this.
Exactly.
Are you serious?
Exactly.
Every pizza you've quote unquote made for me? It's
Papa Murphy's.
Papa Murphy's. I'm like, wow, guys, this strangely tastes like Aaron's pizzas.
Yeah,
even though I'm across the country.
I think it's a good idea. They make the pizza, you take it home, throw it in the oven. They give you a pan to put it on and everything. And you just throw it in the oven. It's really good because pizza is one of those foods that should be eaten fresh out of the oven. And the problem with delivery, depending on the company, if they take a while to get to you and you get it and it's not like super hot, it's not good anymore.
Yeah.
So
or also, the delivery person could have put it in an odd position in their car because they had so many deliveries to take, and it could have slid all the toppings to one side and just completely destroyed the pizza.
It sounds like a personal
So
experience.
when you went to go deliver it, they got really mad at you and called your shop, and then you had to go retake them a pizza, even though it was a medium.
Do you want to tell us what happened?
No. But I know where they live.
This sounds
I know where each one of them lives.
Sounds very
Be
personal.
nice to your pizza guy.
This sounds very personal. Oh, man. Yeah, no, I deliver pizza, too, so I completely understand.
Yeah, good times. Great oldies. Okay. I don't know why I wrote this in here. I put the jokes is that kids... Oh, when I was young... Does anybody complain about you being on your phone too much anymore?
No, not now.
Because when I was younger, I remember, like, people were upset about it. And then now... I never had a phone, so it didn't matter. But now, like, I don't think anyone says that kids are on their phones too much. It's like...
No, they still say that.
They do?
Yeah.
Maybe I just don't know any kids.
But you... I mean, obviously, with you being grown, no one's telling you that.
That's probably true.
But, I mean, for kids, that's still a big issue for parents, them being on their phones too much. Do you remember when Pokemon Go launched some years ago?
I did not partake in the festivities, but I do remember it.
Lies.
I didn't.
Anyway, yeah, people were, even though the game tells you, hey, look where you're going and watch your surroundings, people were still walking off cliffs, running into stuff because they were so tied to their phones. And even before...
They were getting robbed.
Yeah, even before and after that, people still are tied to their phones too much. But the problem is, with the phones, it's like you don't interact with people enough.
Yeah.
And you're on your phone, and so you kind of disconnect it. So it's so funny because social media is supposed to be this thing that connects everybody, but then if you're on your phone all the time, you're not really connected with the people in real life. So I don't know. Are kids on their phones? Probably.
Yeah, more so now. But I guess I wouldn't really know that because I'm not a kid, and I do not have children.
Yeah. And see, for me, like I was already grown when smartphones became popular. So it was like, well, because my first cell phone was a dumb phone. It was a Nokia.
I had one
black
of those.
And white
that was my
screen.
first cell phone as well. You had, what's that keyboard where you click 3 times and you get
QWERTY. I think they called the number. I don't know. I don't remember what they called that.
It was like,
but you had to
put a C, you had to click 1 3 times.
Exactly.
1, 2, 3.
And I was pretty good at
without
that,
looking.
I think I still looked, but I was pretty fast. I was pretty fast with that.
Yeah.
And it didn't have any game. Well, I remember it had this game called Snake.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But those Nokia phones were pretty cool.
Actually, I think they took the games off of mine. Like, the first ones they had, the Nokias had games, and then when they got to me, they were like, nah, you don't deserve this.
Yeah.
Like, can I at least have solitaire? No.
Yeah, so that was my first cell phone. And I was already out of high school when I got that one. So I didn't have to worry about it in high school. And back then, I had to buy minutes for my phone. So you buy cards and add minutes to your account.
Oh, my goodness.
And what stunk about it was that text messages cost 1 minute. So I couldn't text a lot because it would eat through my minutes.
Oh, yeah. Remember how terrible, like, it was on the news, you know, young person racks up $2,000 bill for texting their friends or something like that.
Well, that came later. But at least for the phone I had, you couldn't do that because once you spent all your minutes, your phone didn't work anymore.
Oh.
I mean, you can call 911, but other than that, that was about it.
So, how you doing? Sir, this is 911. Yeah. I can't talk
I ran
to
out of
you.
minutes and I need somebody to talk to. Oh, man, so sad. But, yeah, that's the reality of it, though. So.
Wow. Yeah, I had it where if someone texted me, it costed me 25 cents, but the rest of the day I had free texting. So someone decided to text me good morning a couple days in a row, and I was like, I'm sorry, can you not text me?
Yeah.
Just people just trying to be nice, but, you know.
Well, fortunately, it's better now. So.
Yeah, unlimited texting, unlimited minutes. That's not even like a selling point anymore. It used to be like the big thing.
Yeah.
Like, here, you have this phone plan. You can talk and text as much as you want. Now it's just a standard.
Yeah. And, like, long distance is another thing that changed because you used to have to pay for long distance.
And that's where WhatsApp comes in, too, because you can go.
Well, true. Now you can go international.
Yeah.
But, of course, you know, if Facebook goes down, then you can't communicate with anybody.
Back to writing letters. Dear so-and-so, how have you been? It's been eons since we've spoken last.
Right.
How are the children? Are they grown yet?
Did you ever write letters?
Yeah, my parents, whenever someone gave us a gift as a kid, my parents were like, you're going to write them a thank you letter. And I'd sit there and just like.
A thank you card or a letter? So a letter that you had to actually put in the mail?
It was a letter.
Okay, so you had to put it in the mail.
What was a letter and a card? I'd be like, why am I supposed to say thank you? They're like, well, somebody gave you something. I'm like, but I don't even like the thing they gave me. And they're like, how dare you say that? This is a nice elderly person who gave you this gift. And I'd be like, why? Why did they give me a gift?
Mind you,
now I have to write this letter.
Mind you, we're talking about a week ago, but I'm
No,
asking
I was a child.
I'm asking about your child.
I'm thankful now for the things that people gave me, but it was hard to articulate that when I was younger.
Isn't that funny though? How when you're a kid, you don't appreciate certain things. Like if someone buys you something and you don't like it, you
just say you don't like it.
Yeah.
You straight up just say.
I had a relative who used to buy me articles of clothing that I thought were hideous, and I'm talking now. I'm in elementary school, middle school, around that age, and I had a relative who would buy me sweaters, and socks and stuff that they would create themselves. Sometimes, like they would knit stuff.
Well, that's sweet.
It is, and I appreciate that now. But at the time, I'm like, I'm not wearing this to school. I will get laughed out of the school. I mean, it was not, and it looked very homely. And that's the best way I can describe it. Just homely clothing that people knitted.
That's a really good word, Aaron. I think you have a nice vocabulary. Some people they go into their house and they call it homely, and that's not the correct word for it. But what you said about certain clothing.
Yeah. I think I did wear it to, we have those, in school, did you have certain days, like, where, like, for example, wear this today, or wear that today, or?
Like Spirit Week?
Something like that. We used to have days where we have to wear certain things like that. So, like, an ugly sweater day, for example, then I would wear, like, an ugly sweater, which a.k.a. the sweater that someone knitted for me.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey,
you know what the worst is when you think something looks bad, and then everyone says it looks good, and then you feel bad for thinking it looked bad? And you're like, that person really had my best interest at heart.
No, that's never happened to me before.
Now they're passed away. I can never tell them.
Yeah, if they gave it to me and I thought it was ugly, it was probably ugly.
Oh, boy.
So, and I'm not even I don't consider myself to be any type of fashionista at all. But,
But it's like, I don't really know what looks good, but I definitely know what looks
I
bad.
know it looks bad. And there was nothing nice about that. So, but it's all good. Again, in retrospect, I appreciate it now. But back then, you know how kids are.
Can't keep them, can't get rid of them. Or is it can't live with them, can't live without them? I forget what the saying goes.
Well, I think you had it right the first time.
Oh, okay, good.
Wait, what did you say the first time?
I don't even remember. I think I was just trying to say can't live with them, can't live without them. Is that the saying?
Exactly. I think that's right.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Do you want to do audience questions or do you want to talk about Pokemon Go? Because
Pokemon Go.
Yeah, I didn't play it when it first came out. But for a month, I got, sadly, pretty obsessed with it. Actually, I think it lasted 3 months.
Oh, I mean, I played it when it first came out, but
yeah.
I wasn't walking around. I wasn't into it like that.
I was walking around Reed Park just to try to get like these eggs to hatch.
Yeah,
it was a problem.
Yeah, no, I wasn't into it like that. I would play it when we were driving around.
When we were driving around as we normally did or quite regularly in the past, kind of on Saturdays or something.
On Saturdays when we would be driving around with a group of friends, sometimes I would be on my phone trying to catch stuff. And I'd be like, slow down, slow down. There's a Pikachu. But no, it was cool. It was cool. It was using augment. You know, it was a cool concept. And it was new at the time. And it blew up. In fact, it blew up so much. I remember being at work and people were roaming around the back stock, like the stocking area where we kept all the dry stock in the back, like trying to find Pokemon and stuff. And so it was just like, what? Get out of here. You can't be back here with that. And like I told you, people were walking into streets, and then like they made real life businesses, actual like locations.
Pokemon stops. And people would be wandering into your front yard because there was a gym there.
Yeah.
And
yeah, exactly. So that was actually pretty cool to look back at that and see what happened. And then what they did that was really smart was they used the original Pokemon that came out in the first game when it first came out.
So it was like nostalgia.
It was for the people who played like me who played it when it first came out. For me, it was like, oh, I can play this because I know all the Pokemon because I remember the original 151 of them.
Yeah.
But then after that, I kind of grew out of it. And then, you know, I lost track. And now there's so many. Most of them I don't know.
Yeah, I think I had played it like a ton. And then for some reason it locked me out of my account and I couldn't sign back in. Mm-hmm. And during that period, it gave me like a moment of clarity. Mm-hmm. And I realized that I shouldn't be playing this game anymore.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, I don't think it was bad, but I just think that
for as much as I played it.
I mean, if you
across from my house, there was a gym, and I was like, "It's open." Yeah. I was like, "I'm gonna be gone for like 15 minutes." So I'm sitting in my car trying to defend this gym, and then I was like, "What am I doing with my life?" I thought I was having fun, but I'm sitting in a hot car playing this stupid game.
No, you can definitely get obsessed with it. But you know, and what's funny is they made these huge parties like all around the world too, where people would be getting together.
Okay.
Central Park.
Do you know what happened at the Central Park one?
What do you mean? Which time?
They had so many people gathered in a certain area that it shut down.
The cell phones. Yeah, the cell phones shut down. And people wanted a refund. Yeah, that's what happened. So many people gathered in Central Park. Or was that Chicago? Well, maybe it was Central Park.
I don't know. My friend of mine told me about it.
That might have been Chicago. Because people paid tickets and came from all over the world to have this Pokemon Go like get together. And at this event, they were going to release special Pokemon that you can catch at this event. And so people were from...
Oh, that's what... You had to be there.
You had to physically be there, yeah. Because the cool thing about the game, at least at the time, was that certain Pokemon were available in certain areas, depending on where you lived. And catching them all would require, you know, you traveling a little bit.
I can't find anything about it. I think they...
No, that was a big thing, though. I can't remember if it was Central Park or if it was in Chicago.
Okay, let's just type in Pokemon Go Central Park. A rare Pokemon caused a huge stampede in Central Park.
No, I don't think it was that one. I think it was, just say Pokemon Go Disaster or something.
Disaster, like I don't know.
Here, I can probably find
Disaster. This is the middle song where we sing along. It's the middle song.
Let me see.
Oh, a sold-out day-long official event for up to 20,000 people. Fans became expecting the chance to capture rare Pokemon and participate in activities, culminating in a challenge that would release some of the series' legendary Pokemon into virtual wilds. But as connectivity problems and in-game crashes caused Pokemon Go unplayable for attendees, the day spiraled into a large-scale echo of the game's earliest problems. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah. And that's happened in multiple locations, too, because I'm reading one article that talked about it happening in Japan, where everyone gathered together.
It was Chicago, you're right.
Yeah. But here, I think it was Chicago. But, yeah, and everyone was ticked off. And because people flew in from all over the world to play this game, and they wanted this. And then they tried to fix the problem. They tried to roll out these portable cell phone towers, like Sprint and some of the other companies has portable cell phone towers that they paid for, and they rolled them into the park to try to so people could get a signal because there was too many people on the network in that one area. That still didn't work, so it was just a complete disaster. But I thought it was kind of funny to me. But
it is funny because, like I said, it's the invisible things that people get all worked up about. Like, there's no Pokemon; they're not real.
No, yeah, exactly.
None of this actually matters.
And that's the thing. I never was the type of person to get so involved in anything like that to that point where I was just
that you'd be stampeding in Chicago.
Yeah,
because
I'm
you
like,
can't
no.
catch a shiny Pikachu.
No, if you did an event in downtown Tucson and I happened to be driving through downtown, then I might stop and catch something. But I'm not going to go out of my way to actually do anything.
Well, we went on vacation with a friend one time, and we didn't really know what to do where we were at. And so that's how I got into it. He was like, hey, we should just play Pokemon Go.
I know exactly who you're talking about because that same friend that you're talking about made me download it again so that we could play because I hadn't played in a long time. And
yeah, even on
go ahead.
All of us got into it. Some people not as much as others.
Yeah. Oh man, that's too funny. But yeah, so. And it's, people still play it today. They still make announcements, and people still like to go play it. So
I don't even play it.
It's not as big as it was when it first came out. But
no, I think what happened was it's the whole, it's the same thing with currency. Once you start pumping too much money into the economy, it tanks, whatever.
I think people just get tired of it after a while.
But the stakes were really high at the beginning, but then at the end of it, there was just too much going on that it just didn't matter anymore. There's nothing really competitive about it. It's just another game. The lifespan of that game probably would only last about 3 months, I think. Because after a while, you realize, it's just stupid. Because with video games, there's, a suspense of, this really matters, and I want to accomplish this goal. Mm-hmm. Once you accomplish that goal and there continues to be endless goals, then it's kind of pointless.
I mean, I think so. I haven't played it in forever. But, I mean, the game still rakes in millions and millions of dollars a year. So... from a company standpoint, if you're Nintendo or the Pokemon company, they don't care. They're still raking in dollars. So
microtransactions, you can buy stuff in that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
well, there you go. You want to do audience questions now?
Sure.
Okay, first question. This one confuses me. I appreciate you. I appreciate your contributions to this, but I'm confused. Maybe I'm missing some kind of context here. It says, if the Trojans were around today, would they trust Amazon? Is this a joke?
Wait, what's the question again? I'm sorry.
If the Trojans were around today, would they trust Amazon? Is there something with the Amazonians and Trojans, or... Am I missing some kind of, joke here? It's probably something out of context that I don't get, and, the people who get it, and they're shocked and appalled, and I'm sitting here in confusion. I am confused. I do not know.
I mean,
does anybody trust Amazon at this point? Everyone knows how terrible they are. We just tolerate it.
Yeah, are they referring to people from the ancient city of Troy?
Yes.
Is that what they're referring to?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's me and you are Bill and Ted.
Okay.
And we have to go do a project for school. At this point, it'd be a project for the podcast. And so we go back in time, man, and we get the Trojans, and they come here, and they're like, hey, would you like to buy something from Amazon, dude? Bro, you can buy anything. Okay. I don't know the answer to that question. I would say nobody trusts Amazon at this point, but we still use them. So they would fall in line with the rest of society, and if they tried to, fight against the... Oh, there you go.
I tried, though.
You tried.
I tried.
I don't know. It just wouldn't work. Okay, if Google started making phones when Android and Apple did, would they be number one right now? If they got in on the game early. Is it because that the iPhone came out the first that they're as great as they are? Or is it because they had a good system of doing things? Does Google have a good system of doing things?
Well, Android is Google. So Android came out after the iPhone did. But Android was more focused on the operating system. Google was focused on the operating system at first. Whereas Apple released, Apple is known for making the software and the hardware together. Apple was not the first to release a smartphone, but they were the first to do it, with multi-touch gestures and the screen. All that stuff was new, and all the other companies. And then they released the App Store the following year, and that's when Android came out. And then they started emulating. In the early stages, they were basically emulating everything Apple did. So really, Apple is the reason why smartphones are the way they are today.
Yeah.
Now, as far as market share, believe it or not, Android has the bigger market share as far as number of devices.
So they make more money, or they have more sold?
No, they don't make more money, but they do make. They've sold more. There's more Android phones out there than there are iPhones.
Oh, I mean, you can get an Android like those. What was it, Obama phones?
Yeah,
those were Androids, correct?
Yeah, because a lot of different companies can make Android phones, whereas only Apple can make an iPhone. Because they don't license their
Is
software.
that the correct term for it?
What?
Obama phones. I remember I was speaking with a man who had a cell phone that only worked for about a month, and then it would lose. But you could get free ones if you talk to someone on the side of the street.
Yeah, I'm not.
And I don't know if that was the politically correct term for it, or if I'm just, being ignorant. Obama phone. The Lifeline Assistance Obama phone has helped 20 million financially strapped Americans get a free cell phone in minutes. So it was more to help people, find a job. So you could get a cell phone for a month and try out, put your stuff in applications and things like that. It was an interesting concept, but I think they used Androids, which that may have helped with that.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, the operating system can get licensed to anybody. So basically, think of Android as like the Windows of the cell phone. Any company can make a Windows computer, whether it's Samsung or Dell or HP. They all can license Windows and put it on their machine. So that's essentially what Google did.
Cool.
Sorry. I'm nerding out again.
Okay. Someone put kinds of beer.
Kinds of beer?
Yeah. So we're going to Google this one.
But what are they asking?
Who cares? Kinds of beer.
Yeah.
There's lagers, ales, stouts, wit beer, Indian Pale Ale, Pilsner, porters, pale ales, bitter, pale lager, Bock, Kolsch, Lambic, Ghost, Saison, American Pale Ale, barley wine, Berliner Weiss, triple, American lager, Irish red ale, Schwarzbier, steam beer, old ale, Vienna. I gotta go full screen for this one because this list is too long. Vienna lager, cream ale, Gwiz, alt beer, Scotch ale, Irish stout, Flanders red ale, Trappist beer, rye beer, quadruple, Bière de Garde, Calabier, Dortmunder Export, cider, Craig Lambic, malt liquor, Ode Brewing, Elsbach, and that's the end of the list. This has been Two Crazy Scoops.
Yes, it has been. So yeah, I knew the first couple you mentioned, and after that I was lost. I'm not a beer drinker, so I don't really know.
Yeah, if you drink what do they call those? Craft beers, and then you use the restroom, what leaves your body is actually Bud Light.
Ugh. I don't doubt that.
Anyways.
I don't doubt that.
Okay. What? Oh, no. Let's do this one. Why does fridge have a D in it, but refrigerator doesn't?
Yeah, that's another good one. I don't know. English is not my...
Forte?
No.
Which is not an English word, I think.
No, it's not. Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I can't
Merriam-Webster Dictionary says, English sometimes does not follow the path you expect, like when refrigerator is shortened to fridge. Why is there a D in fridge, but not in refrigerator? As a general rule, a G at the end of the word sounds like G in flag or hog. Anywhere else in a word, it can sound like either gesture or forget. The G in refrigerator follows this rule. If we shortened refrigerator to fridge, we're left with F-R-I-G. But wouldn't that rhyme with sprig? The spelling with a D most likely came into use because English speakers were too dumb to, wanted it to follow the pattern of other familiar words like bridge, ridge, and smidge.
Well.
Oops. I went to the wrong one. What am I doing wrong here? There we go. Merriam-Webster comes in and helps me with my homework again.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Better explained than I could have. I can't explain English to nobody. And what's funny is I've had people who have asked me questions about English, like, why do you say it this way? I can't explain why you say a lot of things.
You just
English.
know.
I just know what to say.
Yeah.
Sometimes
The rules are very vague.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't know all the time because sometimes people have said things. I'm like, is that correct? They'll ask me, is that correct grammar? And I'm like,
no,
I don't know. I don't know if it's technically correct, but if you say it, everybody will understand what you're saying.
So I am working a job right now where I have to type emails, and it just shows me how terrible I am at writing the English language.
Do you use Grammarly?
I should.
Because I use that too. And
I wrote one, and it says, I hope this information informs you. And they were like, why did you put that? I was like, well, I guess I could just put it, I hope it informs you. Why are you going to say you hope it informs them? It just informs them, right? Yeah, it informs them.
But I know what you're trying to do because you're trying to add a level of politeness to a polite tone to the email.
But the email needs to be pretty straightforward because there's not too much room for fluff in this kind of a business.
Well, the program doesn't leave room for fluff.
Oh, really?
Not really. I mean, I think they're trying to make them where you can have like a friendly tone to your emails, but a lot of times, depending on what you're using, it wants the grammar to just be on point. Like, get to the point.
I don't want this to ruin anybody's life because it's kind of ruined mine lately. But listening, because I have to edit these episodes, and I'm going to continue to say even after saying this because I have no self-awareness in things I say. But I always say when I'm explaining myself about a story, I will say, so I was at the store and some guy walked up to me. And so I was like, hey, how are you doing? So he was like, oh, it's great. But then, I was like, and I say I was like all the time. And I hear a lot of other people and they say I was like when they're describing a situation. When I went to a store, I saw a gentleman, he spoke to me and I replied to him and said, this is a good idea. And he replied to me and said this, that. But instead I'm like, yeah, so I was at this place and I was like, hey guys, this is like super fun. And so he was like, and I was like, and they were like, and like, right? I was like, so if you find yourself saying I was like a whole bunch, welcome to the world.
I don't know if I have that issue or not.
Well, I do. I mean, I was like, in this episode, Antino has a breakdown about the English language.
I think, yeah. Antino ruins everything. It's a really good episode.
Antino ruins the English Grammarly language.
He ruined Facebook. He ruined Pokemon Go. He ruined
balance
Domino's
bracelets for
pizza.
women.
Yes. Balance-based bracelets for women. What else did you ruin? Oh, you ruined the Bee Gees.
I didn't. The Foo Fighters did.
The fact that you brought that up.
I ruined both the Foo Fighters and the Bee Gees for people.
Exactly. And you ruined the U.S. internet speeds.
Wow.
The only thing you did not ruin was Devin's photography.
Devon.
Jermaine. Whatever.
Jermaine. Devon.
We keep hitting your camera. Sorry.
Oh, I kicked it this time.
Okay. Sorry. But yeah. So, yeah, you ruined everything. That will be the title of the episode, I think.
Nice.
And you ruined Fridge.
Frig. Okay, we have one last question. What's the craziest thing that either we saw in New York or for you in Detroit?
The craziest thing?
The, like, G-rated craziest thing.
Oh, okay, because that makes a difference. Rating levels are everything.
Public urination in New York was pretty much a frequency.
Oh, okay. I have. Well, this is kind of funny to me. I don't know. So me and my cousin were walking through this mall and somewhere in Times Square. I don't remember which store. Was it the Macy's store? One of those big department stores has like a big downtown Times Square building, and I forgot which one it was. It might have been Macy's. Anyway, we were going up the escalator, and they were playing this Pitbull song on the radio really loud. And as we come to the top, there's this guy in the corner standing all by himself, just dancing like no one is around him to this song. And I just looked at my cousin. I just looked at her. And she's looking at me like, what is it? What do you see? Because she knew I saw something because I was in front of her on the escalator. So my head is coming up over the top of the thing before hers is because she's behind me and she's shorter than me. And I just turned to look at her like, oh, my God, do you see this? And she's like, what? And as she asked that question, she can finally see the dude in the corner. And you just have to have seen him. I have never seen anything like that in my life. It was the funniest thing. And he thought he was in the club. We in the mall, but he was in the corner dancing like he was in the club. So it's a memorable moment. I thought it was funny. And it was,
And it's G-rated, Aaron.
It's G-rated.
Wait, let me get this.
Yeah.
Thank you, Aaron. I don't have to edit this. Unfortunately, I have to edit myself, I think.
Yeah, it was G-rated. It wasn't nothing inappropriate, but it was just funny. So, yeah, that's a memorable. That was kind of crazy, I think, because it was just unexpected.
I have one about dancing as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, two. One of them, someone I knew, a friend of mine, invited me to go to the city because I lived in Brooklyn. He wanted to go to Manhattan. And he invited some other people that didn't know very well, but I was willing to test it out and be like, hey, make some new friends, have a good time. Dubstep was very popular at this time. Mm-hmm. And one of the young gentlemen with us was trying to dance to dubstep in the middle of the subway, but it doesn't look like how it looks in the videos. He's just attempting to do dubstep dancing. Mm-hmm. And he was listening to it, and he was like, wow, 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 wow. And it's like making a spectacle of himself. And I was like,
I think I know what you're saying, because he's probably one of those people who, in his head, he looks
great.
good.
Oh, man, people are staring at me. This must be great.
Yeah. That's what kind of dancer I am. I just, in my head, I am like, oh, they are impressed by these moves. And then I go back and see a video, and I'm like, ooh,
no.
You know what? I'm just going to be the DJ from now on. And that is why I DJ.
That's why I just don't dance in general. I just sit in a table and I'm like, why don't you dance with your wife? I'm like, why don't you shut up?
Oh, my God.
Actually, I haven't run into that because no one dances now. Anyways.
I do like those. I like dancing with someone else, though, like a partner type dance, like salsa, merengue, bachata. I like those types of dances. I'll do those, but just the freestyle by yourself type thing, I'm like,
well, at least you know the differences. I was like, this is all like Mexican music, and they're like, how dare you? I'm like, well, I don't know. Well, okay, so the beat goes like this, and then you dance like that. Okay, these are the steps. It's pretty simple, right? I'm like, I'm sorry, I haven't been dancing since I was like 5.
Right, yeah. I think salsa is probably the hardest to get.
I took a salsa class one time.
I did too.
It was fun.
It was fun, yeah.
I embarrassed myself. I actually stepped on the person's shoe, and they actually wouldn't dance with me anymore, but hey.
I know. I've done that before, too. Oh, you want to hear something bad I did one time? and I feel terrible about this, but it's the truth. It's the truth, and it was. I don't know if you want to cut this out or not, but it was the truth. So speaking of dancing in New York, we used to go to Pier 17. So anyone who's ever been in New York, they have dance nights on the pier during the summertime. It's really nice, and a lot of times I would always go on like the Spanish nights where they would play, like I said, the salsa, the bachata, the merengue.
I think bachata was big because of Puerto Ricans, right?
I believe so. I believe that's where it originated from.
I really hope so.
I don't remember where each dance originates from, but
Bachata's easy.
But they used to mix all those up into one. Bachata is easy. They used to mix all that up into one night, and they would have it on the pier. So anyway, I was dancing. I was dancing with this one girl,
Senorita.
Yes, and I made the huge mistake. Okay, so I went to try to do one of those dips, and when I pulled her back up, I made this noise as if I was struggling. So it was like dip. I made that noise to lift her back up, but it wasn't because she was heavy or anything like that. It's just that she had went down so low, I had to. It was a struggle to get her back up, and so I was like, ugh. And she's like, "Stop doing that! You're making me feel fat." And I was like, "Well, no, it's not that. It's just, the momentum." Because I mean, when she would go anyway, it was I felt bad, and I did that a couple of times during that dance, and she just got mad and just walked away. She's like, "I'm not dancing with you anymore." I was like, "Well, you don't have to do the dip," but she was the one insisting on doing it, and every time she would do it, I'd be like, "Gotta lift you back up." So anyway, I don't. But what I've learned later, so when we were talking about our classes, our salsa classes and stuff, what I learned is that there is a certain way, a certain angle and way that you do the dip in a way where it's easy to pull the girl back up. Mm-hmm. It's about the angle and the way you do it and in the position that you're in. It's not about strength necessarily. I was just trying to bring her back up normally, but if I had done it the correct way, it wouldn't have been a problem.
You see, that's the issue that I have is if I'm going to do something, I want to do it right. And I know I haven't really invested as much time into dancing to do it correctly. And so I'd rather not. The only way you can practice is in public.
No, you can practice at home.
I don't know. I just feel like you have to be like a kid who is not self-aware. No. And then you grow up and you can be like this amazing person.
Well, I'm talking about we're talking about these specific dances. We're talking about salsa and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, you can pull up a YouTube video at home and you and A&A can practice at home. It doesn't have to be public. And then once
I do enjoy watching couples who are really good at dancing, though.
But you can become really good at it if you just want to practice it.
Yeah, but then you're like, look at me, I'm a good dancer. And then everyone's looking at you, and I don't want that either.
Well, hey, at least you got to dance.
Shall we dance?
Oh, yeah, you can practice ballroom.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. I think that play is completely politically incorrect now, isn't it?
Probably. I'm sure it is. Oh, yeah, with Siam and all. Yeah, it is.
Oh, it's probably terribly politically
But I want to see it again now just to see how impolitically correct. Oh, wait, no. How politically incorrect. But the cool thing is, going back to dancing, though, at least you have a dance partner that you live with, that you can practice with all the time. 9 times out of 10, I won't be able to get my roommate to practice salsa with me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Anyways, speaking of dancing, okay, so I'm on the subway. This is not the same time as that kid who's dubstep dancing in the middle of the train station, but you remember there's street performers and there's subway performers. Mm-hmm. And so you ever get the guys, they're super good at this too. They dancing all around the thing. Mm-hmm. Like things that are difficult doing just in general, they're doing in a moving subway, which also has different forces moving against you. Mm-hmm. So these guys jump in, and they're like a dance crew. You guys ready to jam? Yeah. And I was like, okay. I mean, everyone likes these guys. No. It's a Saturday. There's a lot of tourists and everything. And so they go to turn on the speaker, and the music won't start. Oh. And so they're all trying to troubleshoot the CD player or a speaker or whatever, and it wasn't working. We stop and they just bolt out of there.
They got everybody hyped. They got everybody hyped up, and then they're like, "Yeah, sorry, people." And
but his friends were like, "Dude, what's going on?"
Awkward.
You had one job.
Okay. That did remind me of another story. It's really interesting. So, there was one time these guys were outside. I think this was in Central Park, if I remember right. But they were outside, and they were doing, like, these dance moves and stuff. It was a group of them, right? Mm-hmm. And so they were showing us little, like, they were giving us, like, little hints of, like, what they were about to do, right? And they were hyping it up. So we're all standing around, got our camera phones out and everything to record, getting ready to record this and everything. And before they start, the guy says, "Oh, but before we start," and he grabs his hat and starts walking around.
Oh, they do that and everyone leaves.
Yeah, and everyone took off.
Dude.
I was like, "Look, I don't got cash. I'm sorry." Well, I think I did, but I was like, I was not giving you. If I had singles, I would have threw a couple of singles in there. But I think all I had was 20s. You just come from the ATM. I was like, "No, you're not getting a 20. Goodbye." So I just walked away. But they were hyping it up because they were showing us little back flips and little things, and we're like, "Oh, this is about to be good."
Yeah.
And then right before they started, and then these three guys like grabbed these hats and were like, "Here, can you donate first?" And that crowd, dispersed like, "Nope, we got to pay for
Well, that
this."
must be happening frequently then if both you and I have experienced it on two separate situations.
No, they do that a lot. What they should do, in my opinion, is go ahead and put on the show and then say, "Hey, we hope you all enjoyed the show. If you want to donate, you can. Hey, we just, we accept donations, but I hope you all enjoyed the show." Then people would be more, I guarantee you more people would feel like, okay, let me give something for this person.
Right now, I feel like I could imagine you giving them like advice on the street.
Well, because I've seen other performers do that. They put on their show first, and then they put their hat out, and then you feel like, okay. Yeah. Here's another thing I learned. This is kind of a funny story, too. Some friends from South Carolina had came up to visit, so we all went to New York City, and there were these people with the costumes walking around, and one of them had like a Mario costume, and I still have the picture. I'll show it to you.
You have to pay them if
I
you get
didn't
the picture.
know,
You have to pay them.
You
really think someone's just going to dress up as Mario for free, Eric?
Well, I knew that, but I was trying to tell the friends from South Carolina, like I knew you were supposed to tip them, but I told the friends from South Carolina, I said, "Hey, you may not want to take a picture because you got to give them something. I ain't got cash on me, so unless you got cash, we shouldn't take a picture." But the friends were insistent. They were like, "No, don't worry. We don't have to give them money. They'll take the picture regardless." I'm like, "All right, fine." So I took a picture, and it was this Mario, and it was like this bootleg Hello Kitty, and like something else, like a pink bunny or something. I forgot what that was supposed to be, but yeah. We took the picture, and we're smiling big in that picture. But in the back of my head, I'm like, as soon as this picture is
about to go down,
I said, as soon as this picture is done, I am out. And they had a little kid with them too, and I'm like, when they done with this picture, grab her and let's go because they're gonna be pissed.
I can't hold the kid as hostage.
Yeah, and so I was like, all right. So we took the picture. And then I was out. I started walking down the street. I was like, "Thank you." I started walking down the street, and Mario was angry. We looked back, and he was waving his fist at us. He was like, "Get back here! I want my money." He followed us for like a block or two. I was like, "I told you we had to pay." I'm gonna find that picture. We should post that picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could post it.
Blur out the faces.
It's because it's already on Facebook, so it's like that's how.
Oh, hey, well there you go.
That's how long ago it was. Anyway,
the subway was also interesting because you get like people who are begging.
Why is that interesting?
Because I don't think you have that dynamic here in Tucson.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, but it's a little different. Like they have a script. Everyone says the same thing. Like you get in the subway and they're like, "I don't mean to take up too much of your time, but life has been hard. Hard times come upon everybody. If you'd like to just spare $5, I'd really appreciate it." Mm-hmm. Here in Tucson, they're like, "Can I have $5?" And you're like, "No." "Oh, why not? You too good for that?" And I'm like, yeah, I am. Sorry.
That is funny. Yeah, I mean, it is different, yes, but...
but how are you homeless in New York? Because it's really expensive. That's what I don't get. And it's also the winters are terrible.
No, it is expensive. That's probably why you're homeless. Who can afford to live in...
But why, I mean...
It's very expensive. Everyone who lives in New York has like 50 roommates, unless you're like a surgeon or something. Wow. So, yeah, New York is very expensive.
It was interesting, not because people are begging for money, but just the way that they go about doing it is a little different in each area. Mm-hmm. But I just thought the freezing weather would be really hard to live in if you were homeless.
No, if I was homeless in New York, I would migrate south for sure. And I already planned this because I thought at some points in life I would be homeless. So I already got this planned out. I was like, I'm going to Miami, and that way, you know, I'll be able to survive. I'm trying to find that picture too, but if I don't find it now, I'll find it later. But yeah.
Also, don't stand too close to the train tracks because there is people that may push you in.
Yeah, but that's rare that would ever happen. But yeah.
Not a fun time.
Yeah, I agree.
So that was the craziest things that we saw in New York. And I have this thing I was going to send you. I think I already sent it to you. This video is called... Oh. So it's 1995, flashback. First-time PC user can't work computer. I have the link on, and I'm waiting for Aaron to find the link. Let me see how long.
To make life easier, about 1 in 3 American households has bought that theory and purchased a PC. But what they didn't tell you is that life does not get easier right away. For many newcomers, PC stands for pain and confusion. Reed Galen reports.
Jamie Gold is about to buy her first computer. She
brings
hardly
back
knows
memories.
where to start.
How do you turn this one on?
She's the kind of customer that is turning the industry upside down.
What does the 4 megabyte memory mean versus... So that's
Home PC sales are now exceeding business sales, up 25% last year and still accelerating. Jamie Gold spent $2,800 buying into the sales pitch that computers are now easy to use.
This is the world's easiest personal computer.
It makes you powerful.
I just think I want to plug it in first and use it.
But it's still not just another household appliance.
Installation disc number 1. I don't know which the interface cable is. It's a power module. I'm not dumb. Hold on. There's nothing that looks like this. I don't hear it.
Jamie is gridlocked with plenty of company.
It's printing way too large, and I don't know why.
For years, phone and help centers were used by technically inclined users. Now, 80% of IBM's calls come from so-called newbies. Here at Computer Maker Digital Equipment, calls doubled in 6 months.
I'm having trouble with the modem. When I start, there are no beeps or anything.
Many callers expressed dismay that cyberspace seems more like the Twilight Zone.
The industry is being sent that message by every telephone call that comes into technical support.
A lot of new buyers are motivated by the uneasy feeling that they are falling behind in the information age. But their anxiety only deepens if the computer proves more difficult to get started on than they may have expected. In one survey, half of new users said they were ready to throw their computers out the window out of sheer frustration.
I have no idea what this disk drive is. No idea.
No wonder the book series Computers for Dummies has sold 18 million copies. At software giant Microsoft Corporation,
And I'm looking on the menu bar, and
users are tested like lab rats in a software maze as focus shifts from making computers more powerful to making them easier to use.
The biggest user problem we see right now is ease of use, particularly for the home or the beginning user.
See the troubleshooting information in section 5. Okay.
By 1998, half of American households will have computers. Jamie
Floppy
Gold
disks.
swears she'll have crossed the Great Divide by then.
How do you do this?
Swears a lot, in
I want
fact.
to kill and what I don't
Reed
want to
Galen,
Did you
CBS
see this
News.
notebook? That notebook this says notebook hell. That's what the magazine says. That is pretty funny.
I don't know which the interface cable is to the printer's interface port. Well, the picture shows it here.
Now she's
I hope
pretty
one of
dumb
these is going to
though,
fit and one isn't.
Well,
because there's only one port where it can fit in.
this is how I feel.
That one probably
I shouldn't
does.
say
That's how they end the whole thing, is just her troubleshooting how to plug this thing in.
I shouldn't say that. That's rude, but
This is 1995. I mean, she's used to working.
but there's only one port on the back of that printer.
Well,
You can
now
only-
you know.
What I'm saying is you can only plug one end to the back of the printer.
Okay, but now we have like YouTube, we have Google, and people still don't know how to do certain things. I still don't know how to do certain things.
You can plug up a printer.
Dude, when I'm trying to hook up this stuff for the podcast, I mean, I'm just as frustrated.
No, it looked very easy to me when you did it.
Yeah, well, the first time I did it, it
Yeah,
wasn't.
okay,
You
but this-
remember when
okay,
we
but
were
this-
trying to use an 8-track recorder to record 3 microphones that it only had 2 microphone ports, and we
And
had
it-
to put a third one in there?
And it worked.
Yeah, but you remember how frustrating? Oh, yeah, that's right. You didn't do it.
It worked though.
It was frustrating.
It was not. It was no. What you just saw there. Okay, with that recorder, how many wires we were trying to hook up all of our headphones, all our microphones, and trying to get everything to sync up, and there was no way to really hear ourselves while we were recording. This lady had to plug one cable into the back of a printer. Those are two different things. And I didn't mean to be rude and say she's dumb, but dumb technically means you don't know. But I think she was exaggerating for the video.
I think they were exaggerating for the bit or for the news
video.
article.
I was like, really, lady? Like, there's one place where that can go.
But this is 1995.
But even in 95, it wasn't that difficult.
Exactly.
Because I remember, like, the keyboard, the mouse, everything used to be color-coded. And, like, the printer cable was this, I don't know if you saw it, but it was this thick cable. Mm-hmm. On the back of the printer, before USB printers, it was those, they called them parallel ports. They were, like, this big. If there's only one on the computer, where does it go? It's obvious. That lady had other issues.
I don't know. If I never even seen a computer before, and this is like when personal computers are coming on the market, I'd probably just be as frustrated.
Yeah, I mean, I can see how for older people it would have been frustrating. But for me, we always had computers in the house.
How old is that lady now?
95. So what are we, 2000? She's probably in her 60s now.
No.
If she was in her 40s then.
Oh, my goodness.
Or even if she was in her 30s. That was 25 years ago.
So she's like wow.
So she's 50, 60 at this point.
Poor lady. I hope she figured out the computer.
I hope she did as well. But that was funny. But when they were showing those shots from inside the stores, that really brought back memories. So I remember walking into, the stores back then, whether it was Best Buy or
and the laptops
City.
were all open, and you're like looking at them.
Yeah,
Circuit City. I mean, that's a flashback.
Yeah, and I would see laptops that looked just like that, and I'd be like, back then they looked like amazing, like, oh, this is really awesome. But now, by today's standards, we look at that and we're like, this was garbage.
Well, floppy disks, dude.
Oh yeah, I remember using I remember installing Windows. I needed the first version of Windows 95 we had. It required 13 floppy disks to install it. And you would take one out, put it in, and then it'll install. It'll take a while, and then it'll say, okay, insert disk number 2. So you go put disk number 2 in, and then you have to do that 13 times, 13 disks. That was the first version of Windows 95. I still remember that.
Wow.
I remember installing that.
Well, I will tell you something, Aaron. Even today, people who have PhDs and are some of the most intelligent individuals in certain areas of their field still have issues with computers.
No, I agree.
So I don't think it makes someone dumb for not knowing computers.
Okay, let's end this on.
I thought you were going to read the comments.
No. Let's end this on the definition of the word dumb, because it's real. I mean, it's rude, but it's not.
I'm dumb.
Okay, let's see. The definition of dumb is temporarily unable or unwilling to speak. Okay, that's not the word. That's not the definition I was looking for. Let's see. Number 2, unable to speak, most typically because of congenital deafness. Okay, that's not what I want. Stupid, a dumb question.
Wait, you can't call someone dumb who's deaf anymore.
No, I know that.
That's kind of.
Look, this is what the dictionary says. I'm just trying to figure out. Let's see. Yeah, none of those definitions really match what I really wanted to say.
I guess you don't know what you're talking about then.
A dumb question, or
No
stupid, similar, unintelligent, ignorant, dense, brainless, mindless. Yeah, none of those words are really what I wanted.
They're all super offensive.
They are. So I apologize for calling her dumb.
You apologize to a 66-year-old woman.
That I don't know and will probably never see. But I'm just like, really, lady? Like, you can't figure out where to plug
the comment says,
one cable.
The first lady looks like she's figuring out what electricity is.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you try turning it off and on again? It's not even plugged in. 1995 was hard.
Yeah.
All those IT guys who had to deal with the newbies every single day are the real legends here. Man. Pain and confusion.
I like that.
Antino ruins the internet.
That's funny.
Well, let's cue this up. There we go. This has been 2 Crazy Scoops with your hosts, Antino and AO. Stay tuned next week, where I am not even sure if I'm releasing the episode that I said we were going to release last week, this week, because I screwed up the audio so bad that I still have to try to like reconfigure it. And I Zoom meeting with a friend of mine who tried walking me through it, and it really helped me, but it also showed me that it's going to be really difficult. So I may be the dumb one this time. Thank you for listening.
Ayo, Antino, and A sitting back and listening to another day, you know. We'll keep you in the loop, cause it's 2 crazy scoops. 2 crazy scoops. 2 crazy scoops. 2 crazy scoops. 2 crazy scoops.